The UK government has frozen the assets of Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich, including the club Chelsea. What does that mean? We're going to tell you in this video, along with what Chelsea can and cannot do now. Check it out. If you're liking the content, hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have an opinion. If not, enjoy yourself. Huge news out of the UK with the government reporting on their website that Chelsea has been frozen as an asset of Roman Abramovich. Cultural Secretary Nadine Dorry said Putin's attack on Ukraine continues and we are witnessing new levels of evil by the hour. We are now turning the screw on influential oligarchs, enabling his regime. The important measures announced today will clearly have a direct impact on Chelsea FC and its fans, but we are working hard to make sure the club and the national game are not unnecessarily harmed. We have granted the club a license so it can fulfill its fixtures, pay its staff, and existing ticket holders can attend matches. We know football clubs are cultural assets and we are committed to protecting them. So the Treasury, through the Office of Financial Sanctions Implementation, the OFSI in net, has issued a license for Chelsea to continue operations. Here's what that means. Here's what it doesn't mean. More or less, they can continue as a club. However, all profits that they make are going to be frozen as an asset. They're famously being sold right now. If that sale goes through, that'll be frozen as an asset as well. Let's take a closer look into here. We got a couple slides prepared on the old TV. So Chelsea granted the operating license to continue. Here's what they can do. Shout out to the Reddit user Skooma Pipes. Man, I love these people's names. But what Chelsea can do is they can still pay wages, payments for maintenance fees. They can pay the salaries. They can pay travel for the players up to a certain amount. $20,000 to have expenses on an away game. That's going to be fun on their Champions League trip to Lille in France next week. 20K. Has anyone been to France? C'est trop cher, huh? Pay for security, sell food and drinks at home at Stamford Bridge, of course. They can continue to make interclub payments, such as loan payments to different players. They can receive payments from match broadcasts still. As long as it's already in an existing contract, they can continue to sell merchandise. However, this can only be done through third-party deals that have already been in place once again, such as Nike and things of that nature. They can be sold to a new owner. However, there's like a little clause in there that Roman Abramovich cannot benefit. Now, because of the sanctions, you'd imagine it would just be until the sanctions are over. We'll get into a little bit more of that in a second here. But here's what Chelsea can't do anymore. They can't sell merch through their own store, profiting themselves. They can't through a physical or online store. They can't produce any new merch without any new agreements. So once again, they can fulfill own agreements, but they can't enter into new agreements right now. They cannot sell new tickets to home or away matches. Once again, everything that's been done can be fulfilled. They cannot pay for new stadium capital renovations. So any new updates the Stamford Bridge wants to get has to be put on hold. They cannot buy, sell, loan, transfer, or enter in any player talks. Current players cannot be recontracted, no newbies. Famously, Cesar Azpilicueta and I believe Rudiger, they are both up at the end of the season on June 30th, as well as Andreas Christensen, who is in talks to go to Chelsea right now. Very interesting stuff over at Chelsea. They can also not sign or renew any sponsorship deals as you do. Chelsea being famous as one of the people that whore out all their players on loan agreements. You gotta wonder what that means to them. Are they just gonna recall the loan army? What does that mean to them? If you have any questions further on what you think, if I missed anything, if you see any gaps, what's Chelsea going to do with some of their players they need to resign, leave them down in the comments. I'm very curious to know what everyone thinks about this. As a longtime Man United supporter, I don't wish good upon anyone. And even watching this to longtime rivals, even John Terry's old team. Looking at you, JT. You just can't wish anything for the stewards. This is a club that really worked its tail off to not lay off anybody during the pandemic. And there's already reports on Twitter right now that they are laying off some of their staff. It's just not a great situation all around, especially with obviously all the terror going on in Ukraine and Russia. Fallouts from the sanctions are already flying in. We've seen the frozen assets, meaning the sale of the club is frozen too, as we aforementioned earlier. So pretty much here's what happens. If the sale goes down on the club, the profits or the proceeds of the sale, which could be as high as $2.4 billion, will get put into a dormant account that will just be left there until the sanctions are lifted. So it sounds like the government just really doesn't want to get any money into what they could perceive as support for Vladimir Putin. Chelsea shirt sponsor 3 has temporarily suspended the sponsorship. Other sponsorships are reviewing. This has been reported by the Independent, the Atlantic. We don't know how immediate effect that's going to take place. Chelsea was playing Norwich as we speak right now, and I did see they have their regular shirt sponsor on. There was reports that the kit man was going to have to go to Sports Direct and grab some blue kits. That was a joke. Not by me. Someone terrible who was wrong. Reddit. The club has already started to lay off some people, as we have mentioned earlier as well. Not what we want to see. Really, that leaves what's next for Chelsea. Man, like I said, this isn't good for football, but is this going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? Like we said, this is setting a new precedent in war times that we've never seen before. So, like to know once again in the comments, hit me with what you think about Chelsea, any other companies. What's another football club we can cancel? Listen, as long as we get this crazy money out of here and maybe replace it with some clean Saudi oil money. Am I right? Shout out to the Saudis. Shout out to everybody. Let's go. Enjoy yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. It's an unprecedented time. Like and subscribe. I don't know how to end these videos. Just do something. It's tough. Can I stretch this out? I'm going to edit this. Tell me I'm going to edit this. If I didn't edit this, I'm going to be upset. I've slowed down the pacing to a crawl. Please stop. Later, everybody.